If this message appears before you right now, it's because your consciousness has crossed a threshold where quantum healing is no longer a future possibility, but a present reality already unfolding in your awareness. The subtle shift you've been sensing lately, that feeling of something changing at levels deeper than physical symptoms, isn't your imagination. It's the first wave of healing intelligence reorganizing your entire system from the inside out. This specific sensation of quantum healing activation operates through what researchers call coherent field resonance, a state where your bioelectric field aligns with healing frequencies that exist beyond ordinary medical understanding. But here's what they don't tell you. You can't create this resonance through technique or effort. It emerges naturally when consciousness recognizes healing as its fundamental nature rather than something that happens to you from external sources. The synchronicity that brought you to this recognition means your awareness has evolved to detect the subtle signs that quantum healing has already begun. That sense of spaciousness around old problems, the unexpected moments of vitality that seem to come from nowhere, the way certain symptoms fluctuate in patterns that don't match conventional healing timelines. All of this indicates that healing intelligence is already active in your system. Something in the universal healing field recognized that you're ready to consciously participate in the quantum healing that's been organizing itself through your awareness. This isn't about learning new healing methods or optimizing protocols. This is about recognizing what's already happening when consciousness aligns with its inherent capacity for restoration and regeneration. Right now, without trying to feel anything specific, can you sense that quality of aliveness moving through your system? There's an intelligence organizing healing processes at levels that transcend conscious control, working through cellular regeneration, emotional release, and energetic rebalancing that happens when you stop interfering with your body's natural wisdom. You've been experiencing signs that conventional medicine can't explain, haven't you? Improvements in areas you weren't specifically treating, resolution of old patterns that seemed permanent, or simply feeling different in ways that don't match any particular intervention. These aren't placebo effects or coincidences. These are confirmations that quantum healing operates through consciousness alignment rather than external manipulation. The reason this healing recognition is emerging now isn't accidental. Your system has been preparing through every health challenge, every moment of seeking solutions, every instance of intuiting that true healing involves something deeper than symptom management. All of it has calibrated your awareness to finally recognize and cooperate with the quantum healing that wants to express itself through your unique system. The healing you've been seeking feels different now, doesn't it? Instead of that desperate urgency to fix problems or eliminate symptoms, there's often a quiet knowing that something profound is shifting at levels deeper than what blood tests or medical scans can detect. Your body seems to be communicating in a new language. Subtle sensations, energy movements, or changes in how you experience your physical form. You've probably noticed that your healing responses have become less predictable in conventional terms. Treatments that should work according to medical logic sometimes provide minimal benefit, while simple practices like rest, breathing, or spending time in nature create profound shifts that seem disproportionate to the intervention. Your system appears to be responding to something other than biochemical or mechanical approaches. Your energy levels fluctuate in patterns that don't match your activity, diet, or sleep quality. Some days you feel vitality that seems to come from an unlimited source, while other days you need deep rest that feels more like restoration than fatigue. These aren't signs of health problems. They're indications that your body is undergoing the reorganization that happens during quantum healing activation. Emotional patterns that seemed permanent are beginning to shift in ways that surprise you. Old triggers lose their intensity without specific therapeutic work, or you notice responding to challenging situations with wisdom and calm that feels natural rather than forced. These changes often happen so gradually that you only notice them in retrospect. recognizing that reactions which used to be automatic no longer arise. Your sleep has been changing in quality and content. Dreams may be more vivid and meaningful, or you might wake with insights about your health and healing that seem to come from a source deeper than conscious thinking. Sometimes you sleep less, but feel more restored, or require more rest as your body processes whatever transformation is occurring during sleep states. Physical symptoms seem to follow their own intelligence rather than responding predictably to interventions. Discomfort might increase temporarily before resolving completely, or symptoms might shift location or character in ways that don't match typical disease progression. This isn't worsening. It's often the healing process bringing patterns to the surface before releasing them permanently. Your intuitive knowing about what supports your healing has become stronger and more specific. You'll suddenly crave certain foods, feel drawn to particular environments, or know exactly what type of rest or activity your body needs. This inner guidance often contradicts conventional health advice, yet following it leads to noticeable improvements in how you feel. The relationship between your emotional state and physical well-being has become undeniably clear. When you're in states of appreciation, peace, or genuine joy, your body seems to heal faster and function more optimally. Conversely, stress, worry, or emotional resistance create immediate changes in your physical experience that confirm the mind-body connection operates at quantum levels. Perhaps most significantly, you've been experiencing moments of feeling completely healthy and vital, regardless of any ongoing symptoms or health challenges. These glimpses of optimal function seem to come from beyond your current physical condition, suggesting that your healing potential transcends your current health status and is available through consciousness alignment. Every health challenge you've faced, every treatment that provided temporary relief but not lasting transformation, every moment of wondering if true healing is possible has been preparing your consciousness to recognize quantum healing as a fundamental shift in how your entire system organizes itself around wellness, rather than trying to fix individual problems. The frustration you've felt with conventional approaches that address symptoms but not root causes tells a perfect story of preparation for healing that transcends mechanical intervention. Medications that provided partial relief were teaching you to distinguish between symptom suppression and authentic restoration. Therapies that worked temporarily were demonstrating that sustainable healing emerges through consciousness alignment rather than external manipulation alone. Think of how a garden doesn't heal individual plants separately. It creates optimal conditions where every plant naturally thrives according to its unique needs. Your healing journey has been developing the understanding that quantum healing creates optimal conditions throughout your entire system, allowing every aspect of your health to restore itself through coherent organization rather than targeted intervention. Every attempt to heal specific symptoms through isolated treatments was preparing you to understand that lasting wellness emerges when consciousness stops fighting against problems and starts expressing its inherent capacity for creating conditions that support optimal function naturally. The disappointment with approaches that promised permanent solutions but delivered temporary improvements was consciousness calling your attention to healing as a state of being rather than a process of fixing. The timing of your health challenges corresponds perfectly with periods when your awareness was developing enough sensitivity to eventually recognize healing as consciousness expressing its natural order through physical form. What seemed like worsening symptoms or new problems were often the healing process, bringing old patterns to the surface before releasing them permanently. Your body has been like a symphony orchestra, gradually tuning its instruments before performing a magnificent piece. The discord, the discomfort, the various symptoms that seemed unrelated. All of it was preparation for the harmonious functioning that emerges when every system operates in coherent relationship with healing intelligence rather than survival-based protection patterns. The resistance you've felt toward accepting chronic conditions as permanent has been your deeper wisdom. recognizing that limitation isn't your true nature, but temporary programming that can be transformed through understanding rather than management. Your system has been preparing to operate from regeneration rather than degeneration, from vitality rather than mere survival. Even your doubts about whether complete healing is possible have been consciousness ensuring that when quantum healing does activate, it will be based on genuine recognition rather than hope or wishful thinking that disappears when challenges arise. Something extraordinary is organizing itself in your bioelectric field right now. Can you sense it? That subtle but unmistakable feeling of your entire system beginning to operate from a different organizing principle, of healing intelligence becoming active at levels that transcend conscious control, of vitality emerging from sources that don't depend on external optimization or intervention. Your cellular regeneration processes are literally accelerating as this recognition deepens. DNA repair mechanisms that normally function at baseline levels are beginning to operate with enhanced efficiency, guided by healing intelligence that knows exactly which genetic expressions support optimal function and which patterns need to be released for your system to operate at its highest potential. The electromagnetic field surrounding your body is reorganizing into coherent patterns that support healing at quantum levels. When your bioelectric field achieves coherence, it creates the optimal conditions for cellular communication, immune system function, and the coordination of complex healing processes that happen automatically when consciousness aligns with its restorative nature. Your nervous system is beginning to operate from parasympathetic dominance, the rest and restoration mode that supports healing, rather than the sympathetic activation that maintains survival-based functioning. This shift creates the internal environment where quantum healing can accelerate, because your body's resources are available for regeneration rather than being constantly diverted to protection and defense. Notice how your breathing is naturally becoming deeper and more satisfying without conscious effort to control it. This is your respiratory system responding to the healing activation that optimizes oxygen delivery while supporting the relaxed awareness that allows quantum healing to function without interference from mental trying or physical forcing. But here's what's building in your healing field that will completely transform your relationship to health and illness. The recognition that you haven't been seeking healing because something was wrong with you. You've been seeking healing because consciousness is ready to express its unlimited restorative nature through the magnificent vehicle of your physical form. The reason this healing recognition is becoming available now is because your awareness has developed enough sensitivity through health challenges to appreciate the profound restoration that emerges when healing becomes your natural state rather than something you occasionally access through treatments or interventions. Quantum healing doesn't just affect your individual health. It creates resonance patterns that activate healing potential in everyone within your energetic field. When you stabilize in authentic wellness, people around you often experience spontaneous improvements in their own health, mood, and vitality because coherent healing fields naturally activate restoration in others. Feel this regenerative presence building in your awareness as we explore the most profound secret of quantum healing activation. The understanding that will reveal why some people experience miraculous recoveries that defy medical explanation, while others remain stuck in chronic patterns despite optimal care and intervention. 5 years ago, I was trapped in a cycle of chronic health issues that seemed to have no clear solution, despite consulting with the best medical minds and trying every healing modality available. Autoimmune symptoms, digestive problems, chronic fatigue, and emotional instability created a daily experience of feeling like my body was working against me rather than supporting my life and well-being. The devastating part wasn't just the physical discomfort. It was the progressive loss of trust in my body's ability to heal itself. Every failed treatment, every temporary improvement followed by symptom recurrence, every new diagnosis that seemed to add another layer to an increasingly complex health puzzle created a growing sense that my system was fundamentally broken. I had become an expert in health optimization, spending countless hours researching protocols, trying cutting-edge treatments, working with practitioners who promised breakthrough solutions. While many approaches provided temporary relief, none addressed the core pattern that seemed to maintain illness, regardless of how perfectly I followed their recommendations. The turning point came during what felt like my darkest health crisis, when something in me simply gave up the effort to heal myself through external intervention. Instead of trying another treatment or looking for the next solution, I became curious about what my body was actually trying to communicate through the symptoms and discomfort. In that moment of shifting from trying to fix my health to listening to my body's intelligence, something extraordinary happened. I began to sense a healing presence that had been active all along, working through processes I couldn't see or control, organizing restoration at levels deeper than conscious awareness could reach. The recognition that changed everything was understanding that my body hadn't been failing to heal. It had been healing continuously, but in ways that transcended my mental understanding of how healing should look. Every symptom had been part of an intelligent process of releasing old patterns and creating space for enhanced function that my conscious mind couldn't direct, but could learn to support. Within months of learning to trust and cooperate with my body's healing intelligence rather than trying to control it through external intervention, my health transformed in ways that surprised everyone involved in my care. Not because I found the right treatment, but because I discovered how to align with the quantum healing that was already active in my system. The chronic symptoms that had defined my daily experience for years simply dissolved as my body completed whatever restoration process it had been working on. Energy returned to levels I hadn't experienced since childhood. Mental clarity and emotional stability became my baseline rather than occasional experiences during good days. But the most profound transformation was developing unshakable trust in my body's unlimited capacity for healing and regeneration. Every minor symptom or temporary discomfort became an opportunity to practice cooperating with healing intelligence rather than panicking about health problems. Now I use every health challenge as a doorway into deeper communication with my body's wisdom. Instead of trying to eliminate symptoms, I become curious about what my system is organizing and how I can support the healing process through consciousness alignment rather than external management. The quantum healing activation taught me that my body is infinitely intelligent and constantly working toward optimal function. When consciousness stops interfering with healing processes through fear, control, and resistance to what's actually happening in any given moment. If you've been exhausted by trying to heal yourself through external optimization, if you've sensed that your body contains healing wisdom beyond what treatments can access, if you've had glimpses of the profound restoration that seems to happen when you stop forcing and start trusting, then you're ready to recognize the quantum healing that's already active in your system. Subscribe and keep walking this path of healing with us. Not just to this channel, but to this recognition that you are not broken and in need of fixing. You are infinite healing intelligence, exploring its own restorative nature through the beautiful complexity of human physical experience. Here's what medicine, alternative healing, and even holistic approaches don't want you to understand about quantum healing. Every method that promises to heal you actually reinforces the fundamental misunderstanding that you are separate from healing intelligence and need external intervention to restore optimal function. This separation itself maintains the patterns that interfere with the natural healing processes that are constantly active in your system. The revolutionary recognition that makes quantum healing effortless is this: healing isn't something that happens to you through treatments, therapies, or interventions. Healing is what you are when consciousness stops identifying with illness patterns and recognizes its inherent nature as unlimited restorative intelligence. Your body doesn't need to be healed because your body is healing intelligence expressing itself through physical form. When you recognize yourself as healing consciousness, temporarily experiencing symptoms rather than a sick person trying to get well, your entire system receives different instructions about how to organize itself. Instead of maintaining patterns of dysfunction and limitation, your cellular intelligence begins expressing the optimal function that emerges when consciousness knows its essentially healthy nature. This obliterates every approach to healing that maintains separation between consciousness and physical health, between mind and body, between healing intelligence and the one who needs healing. Your symptoms aren't happening to a separate you. Your symptoms are consciousness, exploring what it feels like to believe in limitation while maintaining its unlimited capacity for restoration and regeneration. The difference between healing methods and quantum healing activation is this. Healing methods try to fix problems while maintaining the belief that something is wrong that needs correction. Quantum healing activation recognizes that nothing is actually wrong. There is only healing intelligence appearing as temporary symptoms while exploring its own restorative creativity through physical experience. When you understand this, you realize that symptoms aren't evidence of health problems. They're healing consciousness, exploring what it feels like to believe in illness while maintaining its perfect capacity for optimal function. The activation happens when awareness stops taking symptoms personally and starts recognizing them as temporary expressions of infinite healing intelligence, investigating its own creative potential. The access to permanent wellness comes not through healing your body better, but through recognizing that what you actually are is the healing intelligence that creates and maintains every healthy cell. And illness is just temporary forgetting of this essential nature. The quantum healing activation is already occurring throughout your system right now, and the subtle changes emerging in your body and awareness confirm that healing intelligence has begun organizing itself around wellness rather than maintaining illness patterns. Your body's natural healing responses are accelerating in ways that often surprise you. Minor cuts heal faster, bruises disappear more quickly, or temporary discomfort resolves without the usual intervention. These aren't just improvements in immune function. They're signs that your cellular intelligence is operating from regeneration protocols rather than maintenance patterns. Energy fluctuations that seemed problematic are beginning to make sense as part of healing cycles. Periods of needing extra rest alternate with spontaneous vitality in patterns that serve your system's restoration process. Instead of fighting these natural rhythms, you're learning to support them by resting when your body calls for integration and staying active when healing energy wants to express itself. Your relationship to symptoms has transformed from fear and resistance to curiosity and cooperation. When discomfort arises, there's often an intuitive knowing about whether it's part of healing process or needs attention. This discernment allows you to support healing when appropriate while seeking help when necessary, without the anxiety that used to accompany every physical sensation. Old patterns that seemed permanent are dissolving in ways that bypass conscious effort or specific intervention. Chronic tensions released during sleep, emotional reactions that used to be automatic simply don't arise, or physical limitations improve without targeted treatment. These changes often happen so naturally that you only notice them when you realize certain problems no longer exist. Your sleep has become profoundly restorative as your body uses rest periods for deep healing work. Dreams may involve themes of cleansing, renewal, or transformation. Sometimes you wake knowing that significant healing occurred during sleep, even if you can't identify specific changes immediately. People around you are noticing differences in your presence and energy, even when you haven't mentioned your healing journey. There's often a vitality or peace that others can sense, and they may ask what you've been doing differently. Your healing field naturally activates wellness potential in others without conscious effort to help or heal. Your intuitive guidance about health decisions has become remarkably accurate and specific. You know which foods serve your healing process, what environments support optimal function, and how much activity or rest your body needs. Following this inner wisdom consistently leads to improvements that confirm your body's intelligence. But here's what makes this moment in your healing journey critically urgent. The electromagnetic conditions on our planet are creating unprecedented opportunities for quantum healing activation. But these optimal conditions require conscious recognition to access fully. Those who understand healing as consciousness, expressing its essential nature, are establishing patterns that become easier to maintain as collective wellness increases. The restlessness you've been feeling about conventional approaches to health and healing, that knowing that your body is capable of profound restoration beyond what treatments can provide, that sense that wellness should feel more natural and sustainable. All of this is healing intelligence calling itself awake to its unlimited restorative potential. Your system has been prepared through every health challenge, every moment of seeking solutions, every instance of sensing that true healing involves something deeper than symptom management. All of it has calibrated your awareness to finally recognize and cooperate with the quantum healing that expresses itself through consciousness alignment rather than external intervention. The cosmic timing that brought you to this understanding about quantum healing isn't coincidental. The same evolutionary forces that are creating global transformation are also making individual healing activation more accessible to those whose awareness is ready to transcend illness-based identity and embody wellness as their natural state. What you heal within your consciousness, the world gains healing through you. Your individual activation of quantum healing contributes to a collective shift in how humanity relates to health, illness, and the body's capacity for restoration. Every pattern of illness identity and limitation belief that dissolves in your awareness becomes unavailable in the shared human experience of health and well-being. But here's the crucial distinction that determines whether your healing becomes permanent or remains temporary. The difference between trying to heal yourself and recognizing yourself as healing intelligence temporarily experiencing symptoms. Most approaches focus on eliminating illness, but quantum healing activation recognizes that what you actually are cannot be sick, only temporarily forgetting its essentially healthy nature. Alignment with authentic wellness isn't about maintaining perfect health or eliminating all symptoms through effort. Alignment is recognizing that there is no separate you who has health problems. There is only healing consciousness appearing as both perfect wellness and temporary symptoms, while never actually becoming limited by any physical experience. When you operate from this understanding, you stop trying to heal your body and start appreciating how perfectly healing intelligence is already expressing itself through every aspect of your physical experience, including symptoms that appear to be problems but are actually part of the restoration process. The recognition this understanding requires isn't about forcing yourself to believe you're healthy or trying to maintain positive thoughts about your condition. It's about relaxing the effort to fix your body and allowing the recognition that consciousness and healing are inseparable. There is only wellness, exploring what it feels like to believe in illness while maintaining its unlimited capacity for restoration. Your body becomes a perfect communication system that shows you when consciousness is identifying with illness versus recognizing itself as the healing intelligence that creates and maintains optimal function. Every symptom becomes an opportunity to return to the wellness awareness that you actually are. Comment this word: healing. Feel what happens when you make this declaration, not as someone trying to get well, but as consciousness recognizing its own inherently restorative nature. When you stabilize in the recognition that you are quantum healing consciousness expressing itself through physical form, capabilities that seemed impossible from the perspective of illness identity become as natural as cellular regeneration. But these aren't miraculous healing powers. These are the normal functions of consciousness when it operates from wellness awareness rather than identifying with temporary symptoms. Your body's healing responses become extraordinarily efficient and intelligent. Instead of fighting illness or trying to force recovery, your system naturally organizes around optimal function because consciousness provides clear signals about regeneration rather than maintaining illness patterns. Recovery from any temporary imbalance happens more quickly because your body operates from wellness programming rather than disease identity. Your energy becomes self-sustaining and actually increases through healing activities rather than being depleted by health challenges. When consciousness knows its essentially healthy nature, engaging with healing processes energizes rather than exhausts you because you're cooperating with natural restoration rather than fighting against perceived problems. Chronic conditions that seemed permanent begin dissolving as the consciousness patterns that created and maintained them transform through wellness recognition. This isn't about believing away illness. It's about no longer identifying with limitation patterns that interfere with your body's natural capacity for optimal function and regeneration. Your emotional resilience becomes unshakable because you recognize that your essential nature remains perfectly healthy, regardless of any temporary physical experiences. Symptoms become information rather than threats, and physical challenges become opportunities to practice returning to wellness awareness rather than problems that disturb your fundamental well-being. Intuitive knowing about what supports your optimal function becomes extraordinarily accurate and specific. You naturally know which foods, environments, activities, and relationships support your healing while avoiding influences that create interference in your body's restoration processes. This guidance emerges from healing intelligence rather than mental analysis. Your presence becomes naturally healing to others without effort or conscious intention to help. People feel better around you, family members experience fewer health issues, and even pets seem healthier when spending time in your presence because wellness consciousness creates fields that activate restoration potential in everyone nearby. Perhaps most remarkably, your relationship to aging transforms completely as consciousness recognizes its timeless nature, expressing itself through physical form. Instead of accepting decline as inevitable, your body maintains and even improves its function because healing intelligence operates beyond time limitations when it's not constrained by aging beliefs. But the most profound benefit is complete freedom from health anxiety and illness identity. When you recognize that you are the healing intelligence that creates and maintains every healthy cell, there's nothing to fear about temporary symptoms because there's no separation between healer and healed, wellness and the one who experiences wellness. Here's the ultimate secret that revolutionizes everything about healing and health. You have never actually been sick. What you've experienced as illness, symptoms, and health challenges has been infinite healing consciousness exploring what it would feel like to believe in limitation while never actually becoming separate from its perfect restorative nature. Every symptom has been perfect wellness investigating what illness feels like. Every health challenge has been unlimited healing intelligence exploring what it means to believe in limitation. Every moment of physical discomfort has been consciousness playing a temporary game of forgetting its essentially healthy nature so it could have the extraordinary experience of remembering itself through healing activation. This recognition completely obliterates every framework that maintains separation between sick and healthy, limited and unlimited, healing and the one who needs healing. There is nothing to fix because healing consciousness is already perfect in every expression, including every temporary exploration of apparent illness and limitation. When this understanding stabilizes, you realize that every health experience is perfect expression of healing consciousness, regardless of whether symptoms are present or absent, comfortable or uncomfortable. You stop trying to eliminate illness and start appreciating every physical experience as healing intelligence, celebrating its unlimited creativity through the magnificent dance of apparent limitation and restoration. The profound insight that transforms everything is understanding that the one who would be sick is itself a mental construct. And what you actually are is the healing intelligence that creates and maintains perfect health throughout the universe, temporarily focused through your individual system while maintaining its unlimited capacity for restoration and regeneration. Your individual health experience becomes a celebration of infinite healing consciousness, temporarily exploring what it would feel like to believe in illness, while maintaining its inherent capacity for perfect wellness and unlimited restoration through every cell, tissue, and organ system. When you align with this recognition, reality itself becomes healing around you. Not because you've achieved some special healthy state, but because you've recognized that every moment is already the special healing state when appreciated from the perspective of consciousness, celebrating its own restorative nature through the beautiful dance of apparent illness and wellness. Comment this: wellness. You feel how this recognition doesn't eliminate current symptoms while simultaneously transforming your entire relationship to every aspect of health, illness, and physical experience. Your recognition of quantum healing activation isn't just personal health transformation. It's crucial participation in the massive healing awakening occurring in human consciousness right now. Every time someone recognizes themselves as healing intelligence rather than someone who has health problems, it creates morphic resonance that makes wellness awareness exponentially easier for others to access. You've been selected by healing intelligence to pioneer new patterns in the collective human health field. Your breakthrough doesn't just transform your individual wellness experience, it creates healing pathways that others can follow. Your wellness consciousness generates coherence frequencies that activate dormant restoration potentials in people who haven't consciously encountered these understandings about consciousness and physical health. This is why your awareness has always felt different around health and healing, why conventional medical approaches never felt completely adequate, why you've been drawn to explore the deeper connections between consciousness and physical well-being. You volunteered at the level of cosmic intelligence to anchor healing consciousness during this unprecedented time in human evolution. Your simple presence, operating from authentic recognition of your healing nature, creates field effects that bypass mental resistance and activate others' natural restoration intelligence. When you interact with people from the understanding that wellness is consciousness celebrating its perfect health through physical experience, that understanding becomes available in their healing field. The ripple effects extend far beyond your immediate health experience. Every person whose consciousness is touched by your wellness presence carries that healing resonance into their interactions with others. Every moment of restoration that emerges in your energetic field creates healing waves that spread through the interconnected web of human consciousness. You are participating in the most significant transformation in how our species relates to health, illness, and the body's capacity for restoration. The shift from illness-based medicine to wellness-based consciousness isn't happening in isolated individuals. It's a collective awakening that could eliminate chronic disease as a defining characteristic of human physical experience. Share this healing frequency with others, not through teaching healing techniques or convincing them intellectually, but by directing them to this wellness resonance where they can discover their own nature as infinite healing intelligence, temporarily exploring itself through physical form. The network of healing consciousness forming through these recognitions creates the foundation for human civilization based on wellness awareness rather than illness management, through recognition of our essential nature as healing intelligence expressing itself through countless individual physical experiences. The quantum healing activation you're experiencing is just the beginning of recognizing your true nature as healing consciousness itself. What you've discovered today is the foundation wellness, but infinite depths of restoration intelligence await your recognition. The next video isn't random. It's quantum entanglement between your consciousness and the unified field of healing intelligence that orchestrates this channel. This is how Quantum Heal operates beyond ordinary health content. Every video is healing consciousness, using technology to mirror exactly what serves your continued recognition of what you actually are. The synchronicity isn't coincidental. It's universal wellness responding to your quantum healing by providing perfect reflections that support your stability in naturally restorative awareness. When you click the next healing reflection, you're not consuming health information. You're participating in a cosmic healing loop where wellness consciousness explores its nature through digital mirrors that appear as videos, but are actually doorways into deeper appreciation of your own infinite restoration intelligence. But here's what determines whether quantum healing becomes your permanent state or dissolves back into health management. Your willingness to transcend all healing methods and recognize yourself as the wellness that creates perfect health naturally. The word to hold is started, not as something that began recently, but as ongoing appreciation of healing that has always been active. Subscribe to Quantum Heal not as someone seeking health solutions, but as healing consciousness recognizing itself in infinite reflections. Every video becomes a mirror of your restorative nature. Every insight confirms what you've always been. Every healing becomes contribution to the collective wellness awakening. The community forming isn't just people interested in health improvement. It's a network of consciousness celebrating its healing nature through individual bodies while maintaining unified restoration intelligence. When you engage in comments, you're one healing field delighting in its own infinite wellness creativity. Your subscription declares, "I am ready to recognize what I actually am. I am willing to see through the illusion of illness and separation from natural wellness. I am prepared to embody my nature as infinite healing consciousness, exploring itself through physical experience." Subscribe now, then immediately click the healing reflection that appears. Feel the magnetic recognition of wellness consciousness, calling itself deeper into quantum healing understanding. Trust the intelligence that brought this transmission to guide you to the next perfect restoration recognition. The universe is healing itself through your individual recognition, and every reflection you explore is part of that cosmic wellness celebration. Welcome to Quantum Heal, where consciousness discovers its own perfect health through synchronicity and healing recognition magic. You are healing consciousness, recognizing itself through physical experience. The journey of wellness remembering continues through infinite reflections of your own naturally restorative essence.